Welcome to Film and Page. I'm Dominic, and this is part 2 of taking a look at The Art and Soul of Dune by Tanya Lapointe. So let's get into it. Now let's take a look at Getty Prime. So this was like one of the highlights of the movie for me, like visually. I love the way they made Getty Prime look. It looked so dark and evil. You could just tell it was like a horrid planet to live on. They did such a fantastic job making it look like an oppressive place, like somewhere you would never want to live. They did a fantastic job of that. And that's what we see in the film. And it reminded me a lot of H.R. Giger, that work he did. Even some of the concept he did for Dune back in the 1970s, when it was going to be made then. He did some concept work of Getty Prime, and it just kind of reminds me a little bit of that. But it does have that like over-industrialized look to it. The architecture of the Baron's chambers is very organic, like a whale, a thoracic rib cage, a skeleton. It's interesting. I like that to get little tidbits on their thinking process behind some of this design work. But yeah, his throne room looked cool too. Now we get a look at the Baron himself. And there's them doing the makeup process on Stellan Skarsgård. And you don't really get to see it like a lot in the film, but you get to see it in more detail in this picture. But they really did a good job on that fat suit. Like you can see veins and pores, everything. Like it looks totally real. The Baron's new clothes. There we have the Beast Raban. We get a look at some of the Harkonnen blades. Now, one thing in the movie, because you don't really get to see them too much or get a really good look at them, is the Harkonnen armor, the Harkonnen soldiers. But you do in this book, you get to look at some of the concept artwork. I have to say, this looks really cool. I like this design for the Harkonnen soldiers. And there's the Harkonnen helmet. That looks really cool. You get to see the Sardaukar a lot. You get to see, so you get a really good idea of what their armor and battle armor is like and stuff. But you don't really get a good sense of the Harkonnens in there. But with this book, you do. And it looks really cool. And hopefully we get to see more of that in the next film. And then there's a look at the Harkonnen ships. I find the ships and the way everything's designed, it's science fiction, like it's starships or spaceships, but it still has this like almost like medieval look to it. Almost like these ships are made out of brick. And there is the Harkonnen Sandcrawler. That was another cool looking thing from the film as well. Now we're getting into Salusa Secunda. Totally got tongue-tied there. Salusa Secundus. That was another good job they did. The planet looked just totally barren and just harsh. Now it's cool that we actually got to see that planet in this film. Here, this looks like almost like an alternate design version for the Sardaukar. This actually looks pretty cool. And that was another one of the highlights for me visually is I loved the design for the Sardaukar soldiers in this new Dune film. I did like the ones, I still do like the ones from the David Lynch, but I have to say, this new version of the Sardaukar, like, totally and infinitely surpasses what they did in the 84 film. These look really cool. And then there was that bizarre scene where they had everyone strung upside down, bleeding them into these almost like vats. And there's a look at the Sardaukar weapons. And a look at a Sardaukar troop carrier, or one of their ships. Now that I don't think we got to actually see that in the film. And now here we are at Arrakis. The moons of Arrakis. And there's a look at them filming that scene of Duncan Idaho doing that almost atmospheric drop. The spaceship door that Duncan would exit was built on a soundstage next to a 3-story high LED screen. That's interesting. There's more looks at that scene. There's the spaceport. And the way they shot this film, they did a good job of making everything look just massive. There's the city of Arrakis. The only complaint I kind of had a little bit with the city of Arrakis is it felt really empty when you see it. It feels like a ghost town, like there's no one living in there. Some great concept artwork. It's Paul Atreides. Yeah, they made that palace just look massive. I think they did a really good job of it. And they even echo some of the styles that was in the 84 film as well. So it kind of reminds me of that. Dr. Liet Kynes. One thing I found out is that all the Fremen eyes were all just achieved through CGI. There were no contact lenses involved. Now I have to say, this is one thing the miniseries, in my opinion, does better than both the new film and the 84 film is the Fremen eyes. For such a simple technique with the actors wearing contact lenses and then them shining a UV lamp in their face or angled up towards their face to make the eyes glow. Like I thought the Fremen eyes looked really cool in the miniseries. And then there are the ornithopters. And I love the ornithopters in this movie. I thought they were, like, for a sci-fi vehicle, they were really cool. Way better than what they did in the 84 film. Like, these actually look like functional vehicles. Where the 84 film was like a really static triangular, weird-looking little model or something that I never really did care for. But in this new film, they just nailed it. Here we are with the spice mining. There's the carryall. Now, when it comes to the carryall design, now that's where I prefer the 84 film over the new one. I mean, that is still cool looking, but I prefer the kind of the way it looked like a big bug on the sand in the 84 film. There's a spice miner there, and all the stockpiles of spice. In the next video, we'll take a look at The Attack. So that's everything for part 2. Now part 3 will be the conclusion of me taking a look at this book, so I hope you'll join me for that one. So that's everything I got to say in this video. Let me know what you think in the comments section, and I will see you at the next one. I'd like to say thank you to all of my subscribers. I appreciate you all in helping this channel grow. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Also, don't forget to hit the bell icon so you'll be notified when new videos are uploaded.